Welcome everybody to the New Spanish Academy. This is the New Spanish Academy, la nueva academia de español in Spanish, and right now we're going to have a look at Freestyle Spanish. This is Freestyle Spanish, the first lesson where I basically teach you what comes to my mind as I'm starting, and I got an idea right out the blue and I just start going with it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to use the phrase out the blue, basically out of nowhere, right? And in Spanish, how we say out the blue is de la nada, all right? Which literally means, de la nada in Spanish means out of nothing, all right? Of the nothing, literally, right? So of course, if somebody that speaks Spanish and it's gonna speak with somebody in English and they don't speak good English, what if they say, so this happened of the nothing? It will make no sense, all right? It will make no sense for somebody who speaks Spanish to speak English and say the word of the nothing. Just as it makes no sense for somebody to say out the blue, literally using the word blue, all right? So here we come to the interesting part of Spanish. And before that, I want to let you know that this is it. This is the meaning of out the blue, de la nada, all right? That's the meaning, that's it, lesson finished, go home, start playing. But I'm gonna basically teach you something that comes with the art and skill of learning languages when you're translating. I had recently somebody commented on one of my videos and they said that the translation was not right. Basically, maybe they don't speak Spanish well, all right? So when we have the word out the blue and I'm gonna speak Spanish and I'm an English speaker, I'm not gonna say fuera, which means out, the, which means, for example, el, and then azul, out of the azul, out of the blue. Makes no sense. In that case, that day I think the meaning of the phrase that I was using was nada que ver, which literally means nothing to see, all right? And that's right, but the translation that I made was not at all. And the person told me, nada que ver does not mean not at all. It means nothing to see, right? Sure. If I go and say there is nothing to see right here, then I say no hay nada que ver, all right? I would say no hay nada que ver. And here is aquí. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to see here, all right? No hay nada que ver aquí. So when I say out of the blue, we're not talking about the color blue, of course. So my point is that sometimes when you learn a language, you don't want to think word by word, all right? Don't think word by word, because just think lose their meaning, all right? So you don't go and say out of the blue and say the word fuera de azul, because, or fuera el azul, because it will not mean what you want it to mean, all right? So if you want to say out of the blue, you say de la nada, de la nada. And turns out that if you say out of the blue, it doesn't have anything to do with the color blue, all right? As a result. Okay, so let's just work with another word here, which is as a result. As a result, all right? And as a result can also be used most commonly as it turns out that. It turns out that the meaning is not related to the word blue. When you say out of the blue, it turns out that it means from nowhere, all right? So how do we say as a result in Spanish? Or how do we say it turns out that in Spanish? Basically, we use the word as a result. And it would mean resulta que, it turns out that. Resulta que, así no se dice. Turns out that you don't say like that. Okay. Resulta que así no se dice. Así no se dice. Alright. So, así no se dice means you don't say it like that. So right now we learn how to say you don't say it like that. And we learn how to say it turns out that. It turns out that you don't say it like that. Resulta que así no se dice. So, basically, we turn out, as a result, we learn more than one phrase here. We learn the phrase out of the blue, which is not fuera de azul o fuera del azul. It means de la nada. So if you want to say out of the blue, you say de la nada, all right? Of the nothing. So we will say something like, out of the blue, he said that, y de la nada, me dijo que, and out of the blue, he said that, all right? So now we have, out of the blue, de la nada, out of the blue, he said that, de la nada, me dijo que, out of nowhere, he said that, then we have nothing to see, which is nada que ver, which was touched in another video. There's nothing to see here. No hay nada que ver aquí. So we have here another phrase. And then we have, as a result, it turns out that. We don't say, as a result, if you want to translate it literally, you would think it would be como resultado, which would be wrong. So we don't say como resultado, as a result. We say resulta que. Alright, so resulta que, turns out, it's not said like that. Resulta que así no se dice. It turns out it's not said like that. So in this little video, we learned three things. Out of the blue is de la nada. Out of the blue, he said that. De la nada, dijo que. Then we have, it turns out that. It is resulta que. And then we have not at all. You say nada que ver. So, if you want to say out of the blue and you use the word blue in Spanish, then I would say nada que ver. It's not at all like that. All right? If I say it turns out that, which means it results in, and I say resulta en, it's wrong. I would say nada que ver. It's resulta que. And not at all is nada que ver. You would not say no de todo, which will literally mean not of at all, or no en todo, maybe. This would be, of course, again, wrong. And here we have the three words that we learn in this short freestyle lesson. Out of the blue is de la nada. Out of the blue, this happened. Y de la nada, eso pasó. It turns out that, resulta que, it turns out that out of the blue, resulta que de la nada, and then you say, that didn't happen, not at all. We say nada que ver, not at all. Eso no pasó. That didn't happen, not at all. That didn't happen, all right? Nada que ver, eso no pasó, okay? So we have three amazing phrases. Out of the blue, de la nada, it turns out that, resulta que, and not at all. That didn't happen. Nada que ver. Eso no pasó. Okay? So, here we go. This is Freestyle Spanish for you. La Nueva Academia de Español, the new Spanish Academy. Write comments. What do you want to learn next? Also, was this something that will help you? And what I find great when it comes to this video is that we learn a couple of lessons. We learn 3 lessons. And it is that don't translate word by word. And also, these words or phrases are not beginner phrases, all right? Which means that this is not something you might learn right away. This is something that you might learn maybe not even in school, but while you already are good enough and then you start talking, you might start hearing these phrases on the daily and you're like, okay, this is what it means. They never taught me that, but now you know it. All right. So 3 amazing phrases. The first video of the Freestyle Spanish lesson. So what do you think about this? All right. So like, follow, subscribe, and learn more Spanish with us. We have the whole equipment for you to become good at learning Spanish.